life. Y'all family can be together. You ain't got to worry about no other man raising your kids. That's why the confusion gonna come in.
Yeah,
So you might as well fix your family, then try to start a new family. It's gonna be corruption. That's just how I look at it.
Influence is huge, especially more so for women than men. And often I do advise, I don't know if it's out of line to do so, but I advise women not to do the Instagrams, not to do the Facebooks and the social media, because we are so easily influenced and we don't know what's good. You know, because when you start seeing everybody doing it that looks like you, or that's your same age, that's in your same situation or what have you, then you take it on little by little and you never know when you just messed up. You just crossed over, or you never know when that mindset or when those things have entered into your mind. Now that's who you are. You do not know, but you'll be responding differently, and you'll be like, "Wow, I never even knew I did that." You could have a woman that is just, could have been so meek 5 years ago. Now she's aggressive.
It's like you're scared to get married because you're like, "Dag, I gotta pay child support, alimony." Then, if she don't cheat on you, then you gotta pay the mortgage. I seen some guys like, and the court system have no mercy on you. Like these guys really. At one of my jobs, this guy used to come every 2 weeks, $10 to $15, makes like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and comes home with $10, $20 in his paycheck.
Damn.
Yeah, he had to pay the mortgage, alimony, child support. They just took all his money. So when you see that, you're like,
wait,
how does that help?
The mortgage in the house he lived in?
No,
The house they
if
live
they
in.
break up, she has to give him the house.
And I've seen stuff like that happen.
Yeah, and they got to pay the
Very
mortgage too.
Crazy.
So you work for her now.
That doesn't.
I'm telling you,
I've
I've seen
it happen too. I've seen it happen too. Not even just in our community. I've seen it happen on. It is very sad and unfortunate.
And you know, over 70% of divorces are filed by women. So
just because they don't want to be married no more.
So D-Ball, I got a couple questions for you about the topic of marriage, right? Being that you're one of the 40+% that have figured it out, right? Either you guys are lucky or you figured it out. You know what I'm saying? Huh? Figure out as you go. So it ain't no lucky thing. We got some loud miles up in the motherfucker. The traffic ain't loud there. Okay, so I want to start out by asking you, what advice would you have for younger men and women, or the younger you? Like somebody that's like, you know, a lot of them that's out here trying to figure it out.
Marriage up and down is tough. You just gotta it's like a game, man. You just gotta make the right decisions.
Cause I'm one of them out here too.
You gotta be open-minded. That's pretty much it.
So I'll ask you, I got some real questions from real people, not just no random questions. So if people really want these questions answered, are they single, you know what I'm saying, or do they got relationship? So the first question is, have you ever thought about separating? And like, how did you get through it, and what was like the glue? Like, what was the main keys that helped you get through it?
Yeah. At a point, you won't think about it, but at the same time, pretty much what you build into your relationship, your wife, it ain't even really work, because you got to look for somebody else, try to steal the same thing in them that you did in your wife. Meaning you ain't gonna like them as much because they not gonna listen. When you could just kind of pass that up what you got going on, and you know, just trying to fix it with that. Like, cause shit, life, it's ups and downs in life. Like, it's gonna be hard, but as you know, as you go through the hard times, you got to know how to figure it out. Right. Just figure out how to figure it out. That's just pretty much it.
So you said something key. They still gonna have to deal with and go through the same process, and that's actually one thing that I've noticed, and I try to tell a lot of people. You still gonna have to perfect and work on the qualities you have to work on for the new relationship. You know what I'm saying? Even if you go with somebody else, so you might as well change it for the person that you got a child with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Stay in your kids' life. Y'all family can be together. You ain't got to worry about no other man raising your kids. That's why the confusion gonna come in. Yeah, so you might as well fix your family, then try to start a new family. It's gonna be corruption. Well, that's just how I look at it.
Yeah. So I got another question, right? How has money affected your marriage, and what role does money play in the marriage?
good question. Money,
That's a big one.
especially
Roles, because you can talk about them separate or you can talk about them together, because roles is very important because a lot of people have a lot of confusion about it, but they're very important. And then money, because some people, they feel like the leader of the relationship comes with who is the breadwinner. You get what I'm saying? So that's a lot to talk about in that.
money is a big part of marriage because if you can't provide, then they're gonna talk about you anyway. So I'm gonna use me for example, I'm a barber. My time is money.
Right.
Like today, my baby got a game. My wife called me. So she say, you'll be able to make it. Her thing at 4:30. So I told her I might, but I'm gonna just go because it's my baby's first game, and
Right.
if I don't go, I can get the last of it. So it's just pretty much sacrifices you gotta make. You just gotta make the right sacrifices, if that makes sense. Like,
Making
I
the
ain't gonna be
right
able to go to
adjustment.
every game, but at least I can say I went to the first game. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like when you making money on hand, it's hard because they don't understand that if you not here, you don't make money. But
Right.
they gonna be happy on their end, but you gonna be mad on your end because you ain't make no money. So now if you can't provide it, what you gonna say? I went to the game because you wanted me to go. You know, like stuff like
So
that.
trying to balance love
Yeah.
and money.
And this is so hard.
Family and
because,
money.
And this ain't no paycheck that we get. Like if you ain't here, you don't make money. That's just
Yeah.
how life operates. So it's hard.
Along with the other businesses.
There's just a lot going on. So
So,
just make sure you make the best decision for yourself.
so have you ever had any confusion around the roles changing up because of money being made? Or the amount of money?
It's always like that. It's always like that, but
It's tension around it.
yeah, so me, what I do, I just make the best decision. Whatever I got to deal with, I just deal with it at that time when it comes. So that's just how I deal with mine. You can't let nobody control your decision, especially if you know what's best, but
Just gotta be a man,
you
man.
just got to be a man and accept whatever happened with the decision you made. As far as me, like if I know I got to make a certain amount, and if I got to be somewhere with my kids, my thing is I tell my wife, long as you there, you know, somebody there.
gotta
Like
be
ain't
there.
nobody there. So
You
both
there
of
going
us
to get
can't
more
be there.
money for it, and
Right.
she there, you
So
know.
does this stuff
Even though
cost?
she get money too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's like somebody got to spearhead that. Like somebody got to be on one end
It
at
took a long
each
time for
time.
her
Yeah.
to understand that though, but you know, it is what it is. And I'm gonna do what I gotta do. That's just
It's good y'all be able to do it. I know I ain't start out with a background information, but how long you been married? And how long was y'all together?
I've been married for 10 years.
10 years?
We've been together almost 20 years.
Okay, 20 years together. And what's the background? You guys been together forever or like
Yeah, I've been with her since 8th grade.
8th grade?
And I graduated, I graduated 20 years ago, so we've been together longer than 20 years.
Y'all ever separated or had
Yeah, we
or
separated.
been apart?
Me and that, but that was
Like before the marriage or after?
That was before the marriage, but that's because of me. Like, you know, I was a kid getting money, doing my things. I was doing what I had to do.
Yeah, trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So, I know you touched on a lot of the money part. Now, what about the roles as far as, now I know you said you ain't mentioned anything about it having to change up or nothing like that, but what is your advice or your thoughts on roles, and what do you think is the best way as far as heterosexual? All right, have a go. As far as heterosexual relationships, you know, what do you see? I mean, do you think the traditional roles are best fit, or do you see some points in there being roleless? You know, us having no roles
You said heterosexual.
in heterosexual relationships.
As far as what?
Roles, as far as the roles, do you feel like the roles should stay the same as they've been in heterosexual relationships?
Roles like what?
Like the man playing the more masculine role, right? And providing, and the woman being more nurturing and working less.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it's supposed to go. That's
Okay.
the only way to go.
Okay. And so,
Man can't play a woman part, a woman can't play a man part.
I mean, one thing that I pointed out, right, I'll point out along what you just said, is that the way that us as men is positioned in society, we can't even play a feminine role and then because we get judged under the masculine role regardless when we go to court. You get what I'm saying? When it comes to child support or anything else. So the society is set up to view us and for us to operate in a, masculine role, because it is nothing we can do to get looked at when it comes to the child being ours or the woman's when it first come out and all of this other stuff. It's still set up as the man to be the provider. You get what I'm saying? And to play that role. So I definitely agree with that, but I see points of why people want to change it, but you can't be a rebel without a cause and want to change something without defining it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
at the end of the day, a woman gonna be a woman, you can't. Because you're gonna be going back and forth with a woman, you gonna find yourself arguing with a woman. So you gotta let them do the feminine side, you do the man side. That's just how it is.
right.
You can't do both sides.
So I got
That's just how I feel.
Right. I appreciate you answering this question so far. So I got a few more questions, right? What would you say you see is the problem in today's relationship that you just hear that a lot of people are dealing with? You a barber, you talk to a lot of people, you hear a lot of people.
Like trust issues.
Trust issues. So
a lot of that stuff, a lot of people go off people's past too.
off the past,
Yeah, they judge people off their past. Like you can't judge nobody off their past. You gotta
Understand.
judge for what you see right now. And that's what messes a lot
and
of
where they
people.
going, and where they going, right?
You gotta understand that person for them.
Okay, so that's a good topic because that's so true. Now, is it different when it comes to sex? Because a lot of people have a confusion about a woman and their numbers. You know how we wired as men. Is that a history that you should ignore?
It could be. It just depends though, because like women, what they do, like if they mad at their significant other, and if the significant other try to get something, they'll turn their back and say, "Don't touch me. You shouldn't do that."
Oh,
Even if you're still mad at them, you're supposed to still give him some, suck his dick, whatever you want to do. You got to give him what he wants, because like if you don't do that, and he might be a sex head, if you don't give him what he wants, you can't get mad at him for cheating because you're not giving the man what he wants.
Just like her, right?
So at least do your part, do everything you said you did, and then if you cheat, then okay, you cheated, but I did everything.
You did whatever you're supposed to do.
Right.
So I asked you about disagreements and misunderstandings. I feel like this would be, I'm gonna just throw those words out there. And what do you got for that? Disagreements and misunderstandings, because. And then communication as well. So you can cover those together, because that's all a part of disagreements and misunderstandings.
But it's gonna be disagreements and misunderstandings. But the thing is, see, people gotta understand me. What I do, if you right and it makes sense, I'm gonna shut up and listen. Some people try to overtalk it this their way. It's not just your way. It's a two-way street.
Right.
So you gotta understand them, and they gotta understand you. If it makes sense, I'm listening. That's just me.
Okay. So now, I mentioned communication. You talked about that. I wanna bring up something very important. What respect for each other, because I feel like that's one of the most important things. I mean, like,
respect.
Yeah.
That respect go a long way. I mean, that just go within. Like, if you love that person and you want to be with that person, you gotta respect that person. Like, for instance, like, just say, if you see like your wife or something outside, and it shouldn't be no other nigga hugging up on them, going all that. No, it should.
Respect for each other and then respecting each other.
Keep it moving. Like, that's just how it's supposed to be.
So you're speaking of respecting each other by the way we carry ourselves in public, as well as the way that we treat each other.
Like, that's how it is. You can't be all doing everything. No, you married. So when you married, it's different.
Right.
Everything different.
So I got a good question for you, right? What do you say to those people that say you're married, you don't know what's going on in the dating market?
Me, if it's anything negative about marriage or anything, I won't listen to it, because half these people, they be toxic. The other half, they not happy because theirs not working and they don't want to see yours work. So if it ain't nothing positive or nothing that's going to help me or strengthen me, I don't listen to it.
Right. That's a good answer. Because people can say what they want. That's so true. Like, you know, people are trying to say, but it's like, what I say is, if they say you're in a marriage, you don't know what's going on in the dating market, but at the end of the day, you're married. So it's like, you have a lot of advice to give because you have a lot of experience. Just like with marriage, they say, if you married, you have a better chance of somebody saying they can deal with you. Right? So, I mean, a lot of people that's not married, like, what can you really say to somebody that's married?
You definitely can't talk to them.
How did you know, now this is a very important question, it's from a friend of mine. How did you know, because he's in a relationship right now with somebody, he got stepkids as well, so he wasn't questioned about that too. But I'm gonna ask you, this question he had, how did he know to pick her because he had options?
You say what now?
How did he know to pick her, who you picked, because you had options?
He probably believed in love at first sight, like he probably seen it and fell in love.
Now I'm saying, how did you know to pick her as your wife over other women that you've known?
Like situations like being dependent on her, she got your back when you need her, she's there for you when you need her.
somebody's kind of being a helpmate and almost like the traditional version. Okay, so what is the secret to longevity and like how are you doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Secret to longevity, just stick in, do what you gotta do, be there for your kids, and raise your family the correct way. That's how I look at it.
Okay. And
Bro, you was here already. Why you leave?
the last question is about stepkids. So he said, is it wrong to love your own more than a child that's not from you? He said, cause you always go grow a bond for the other children, but you always go look at your kids different. So he's just wondering, why don't you speak on that?
Look at them differently because it's your own kid, but you still treat them differently. But only time you treat them differently, like in the inside, you know, like you got a favorite kid.
Cause he having trouble loving. Cause he even had conversations with me about that. Cause he know that I done dated women with kids and I'm better at it. But he literally trying to adjust himself before he go into a longer term relationship with this woman with kids, and he being honest about where he is right now. With he really don't have the same feelings for her kids as his.
It just depends on that kid. Don't listen if he's hard head. You can't tell him nothing. So all that plays a part too.
You feel like he should get married?
Yeah.
If he's uncomfortable?
It just depends.
Were you uncomfortable when you got married? With the stepkids?
Ain't no kid gonna run my shit. They gonna sit and listen and do what they supposed to do. And that's it. Cause I pay the bills in that house. That's my house.
Good shit.
And I'm not tiptoeing around no kids. That's how I go. Either this what it is. As long as I ain't disrespecting you, hurting you, harming you, and I'm treating you the right way.
Real tough.
That, then.
Okay, appreciate you, man.
And if my wife don't accept that,
just gotta be a man.